Hey, so it's my first day back in Kiev, and what a wonderful city. I've just woken up on this street over here and I find myself next to Kyiv's Velodrome. Hopefully it's not too windy. There's a bit of a breeze in the air. There's birds are tweeting. This is one of my favorite little parts of Kiev, actually. The fact that this has been brought back to life. Many years ago, this was all sort of debris and you couldn't even cycle around the entire track, but now they take their cycling very seriously, and to be honest, it won't be too long, I think, until Team Ukraine are giving Team GP a little bit of a run for their money. As you can see, we've got a reasonably old building and then a new building going up here. Not sure if this building is going to be completed, but by the sounds of it, there's work underway. What happens a lot in Kiev, buildings often start, the builder then goes bankrupt, and then suddenly the building never gets finished. So you often see these derelict buildings, especially around the outskirts. A bit of a breeze in the air, so I'm not sure how much filming I'll be able to do. But I'm hoping I can rent a bike. Be like this guy.
And like that, the wind took over. Honestly, thank you very much for joining me in another one of my videos. It is greatly appreciated, and if you like this video or my other videos, it really helps me out if you click that subscribe button. It costs you nothing, but it helps my videos get seen by a wider audience. Honestly, I am greatly humbled by all of you that have already subscribed, so thank you very much for that. You know exactly who you are. Now, the Kyiv Velodrome, or the Cycledrome, as Ukrainians like to say, has a fair amount of history. The first cycledrome was built in Kiev in 1899. The second, which this is, was built in 1913. However, over the following decades, the track went through various changes. In 1967, a grandstand was added for 5,000 spectators. Then between 1978 and 1980, the canvas track was replaced by a wooden track. As a result, the top speed increased to 85 kilometers an hour. However, even the best Siberian larch wood only lasts a certain number of years. As money was tight in 1991, the wood was replaced by concrete, which in turn slowed the track. In 1998, it was recognized as a monument of history, but alas, this would not last long. As corruption ripped through Ukraine, the title was taken away from the track in 2007. In 2009, one of the oldest bike lanes in Europe was destroyed by the consent of the city authorities, and in its place, an apartment building and parking lot were due to be built. They managed to build a parking lot on half of the track. However, thanks to many keen cyclists in the Ukrainian capital with a passion for the bicycle, they fought the corrupt developers and took control of the land.
Not sure if you can hear it in the background, but that sound is pretty much the sound of Kiev during a normal weekday. The fact that you can hear drilling, the fact that you can hear construction work going on. This city is growing by the year. People are coming and going, but the city is generally growing. If you got the money, you can put up a building. Thankfully, this velodrome was at risk of developers building flats on this velodrome. Thankfully, the local cycling community and athletes saved this place, and it is what it is today.
It was in 2016 that the dilapidated track was restored and eventually opened to the public in 2017. And since that day, men and women from all over Kiev and also from all over Ukraine have pedaled as fast as can be for fun and for competition. And I have to say, I take my hat off to those Ukrainians who saved this track and made it into what we see today. I hope that it remains for another 100 years and then some. Well done, Kiev. This is a fine, fine velodrome, or as you like to say, cycledrome.
Slightly more sheltered here. The spectators, maybe the mayor of Kiev, maybe dignitary, maybe just Joe Blogs, are sat here watching their favourite cyclists go round, or simply cheering on their son or their daughter. And hopefully at the time when the race takes place, which I'm hoping we'll see at some stage, there won't be construction going on. But yeah, this is Kiev's Velodrome. Nice little place. Not indoors like the London one, but who needs indoors when you've got beautiful sunshine like this?
Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Until next time, keep progressing.